We are at the last day of the PASC16 conference, which took place here in Lausanne, and I am with Nicola Marzari, who has been one of the 4 co-chairs, and Torsten Hoefler, which has been one of the co-chair of the paper track. And we would like to look back at the conference, what happened the last 3 days, and we would like to start with Nicola. Nicola, what are your impressions of the conference?
Well, I think it was extremely successful and extremely enjoyable. We got great attendance, and the attendance actually grows from year to year. And especially there is a lot of resonance in the scientific community. But I always thought that what makes PASC special is that it brings together different community around this common theme of scientific computing. And so it's a great chance for all of us to compare what is going on in other communities that face maybe similar problems or problems from which we can learn. So I think it's been a great experience for everyone.
You are a professor in the materials field, and you have a very strong community in Switzerland dedicated to materials. And now specifically for you and your field, what does it mean when you exchange information with the colleagues from other scientific fields?
Well, we learn what they are doing, say, in thinking the new computing architectures, how to translate software to take advantage of new technology. All this community face the problem, the challenges, but also the power that comes from dealing with big data. There is a very important influx of ideas from computer science, things like deep computing and machine learning that are having an impact in all these fields.
Now with Torsten, you were together with David Keys, now chairing the paper track that was done together with ACM and SIG-HPC. What are the impression of the first time we were really able to manage this paper track inside the PASC conference?
Well, it was of course, as a chair, it was hard because I'm a computer scientist, right? But now you have to deal with 6 different fields, various science fields, like material scientists like Nicola here. But overall, it was a big success, I would say. So we had 44 submissions, and we had a very stringent review process. So we only accepted 12 of them at the end, which is hard because in other fields than computer science, the acceptance rates are usually higher, as I've been told. But we are really trying to keep the quality at the highest possible level, and I think we succeeded. So we had a highly successful program here in the papers track, and all the talks were just wonderful, in my opinion.
Nicola is from material science, you are a computer scientist, and I would like to ask the same question from your point of view. What did you learn? So that you had papers from different scientific fields. What did you learn from these other papers? What is the message to you as computer scientists?
As computer science, this is very interesting because as an HPC person by heart, I'm mostly working on advancing the computer science part of it. So trying to look at new architectures, new programming models. How do we program GPUs? How do we program FPGAs maybe in the next generation, or neuromorphic computing in the generation after that generation, the post-Moore generation. However, you always have to understand what the real science needs behind these computations are. Right? I can develop my programming frameworks for whatnot, but if nobody uses them, it's kind of pointless. So I really enjoyed sitting in all of these talks, really listening to what the scientists need and how they use the systems. And this is my base knowledge from that I'm going to extend these programming frameworks to these new generation systems, because now I understand much better what the scientists are actually doing, the other scientists, not just the computer scientists. So it's extremely beneficial for me.
We looked backwards to this PASC16, but next year will be PASC17. We will meet in Lugano again. And Nicola, what will you say to both to the people which will be the co-chairs of PASC17 and to the scientists? We will propose talks and mini symposium, contribute poster. What is the message to the next year?
I think I look forward to a conference that becomes more and more international. I think it was very significant. It was mentioned in the paper track, actually, that the majority of papers were coming from the US rather than, say, from Europe or Switzerland. And so it's a conference that is now being recognized by the entire international community. So I can only wish them to, good work and a successful event.
Okay, thank you. And Torsten, for you, what will the message to the scientists? We will submit papers next year. Why should they submit papers to the PASC17 conference?
Well, there are two reasons. I mean, one of the major reason, in my opinion, is that we are employing a different novel review process for these papers. So what we've pioneered this year was a review process that is somehow in between the journal review process and the scientific conference review process that we are used from computer science. So the major news here is that, in fact, we have a revision in these papers. So, which means you submit your paper to the first round, you will get a set of reviews, and then you will somehow, in a positive way, interact with the reviewers to improve your paper for a second round review. Of course, the quality will not suffer, so your paper may still be rejected in the second round, but it's a more positive process instead of this pure, you can argue with your reviewers in a kind of a rebuttal, and they will then X you or won't X you. So here, the paper, even if it is rejected at the end, it will be an improved paper. So it's good for you and good for the community at the end. The second novel thing that we introduced is basically a review committee that is not standing. So we had a set of area chairs, each responsible for one of the scientific areas of PASC, and they then selected for each paper the set of most suitable reviewers. Yeah. And then we even gave these reviewers that were handpicked per paper, not in a standing committee like in most other conferences. We gave these reviewers the opportunity to name another set of expert reviewers for the second review round that are then the experts of the experts, so to say. And so we get even better reviews in the second round in the sense. And we have some statistics. There is a paper on how the process worked out if you're interested in this, so you can actually read everything online.
And there is also a movie we will present it where you presented this new procedure, and I think it's really one the unique selling propositions of this conference, this new review process, and putting together the best of the two worlds. And I would like to thank you, Nicola and Torsten, for all what you did for the PASC16 conference, and look forward meeting you next year in Lugano for the PASC17 conference. Thank you very much.